So this is the Cookstove lab. We test the stoves that are brought in here by local manufacturers. The most common stoves brought in here are the Ejapa, made by our locals. We test them because we want to check the emissions and efficiencies of these stoves. Because most of the stoves are used indoors, and then the air pollutants from the fuels and all that isn't safe for the health. But so we check these things to check and we make sure that the designs of the various stoves reduce or make the fuel usage safe or clean. So in that way we improve the health of the cookers or the people around. We also check the climate, try to manage the climate change around too. There are just 3 stages in this stage. The first stage is the cold stage, then the warm stage, and then the simmering stage. In the first stage, the stove is very cold. We haven't used it yet, so it's very cold. And then one thing is, because the lining is made of clay, the drier the lining, the more efficient the stove is. So during the cold state, the clay is I'm not saying it's moist, but then it's cold. So you just have to heat up, and we measure everything used here is controlled. The amount of fuel used, the fire starter, the timing, the temperature in the room, and all that is measured. So during the cold state, that's when you just set up the fire fresh. The stove is very cold. It's cold. That's the most important thing. And then you heat up the fire, set up the fire, put the water on. So the time it takes for the water to heat or to boil at the local boiling point is what determines the efficiency. Then the next stage is the hot start. We use the same stove from the first stage. It's hot, but then we change the fuel, and then we also use a different fire starter. Then we check the time it also takes. This time around, the difference is based on when the stove was cold and when the stove is hot. So we are looking at how the stove maintains the heat and all that. Then the third stage is the simmering. Over here, we measure the leftover fire from the second stage. We retain the same water, the hot water from the second stage. We measure all of those things, but then we reuse the fire from the second stage. But then we add a measured amount of fuel again to the second stage, the fire leftover, so that it can simmer for 45 minutes. Now after that, the process is done. We just collect the data, then we input it into this coded sheet we have called the SS processing sheet, and then we get the result.